Welcome back here once again, everyone. So, I recently went through all the arcs of Young Justice Phantoms. One by one, I go through them all. Some of the videos have been a little long, but I decided that I needed to really explain the overall basis of what has happened. I started by saying this has not been a good season for it at all. The whole thing led up to the whole Kryptonian thing, which is, one thing, because when you look at the first letter of every episode, it spells out a hidden phrase, invitation to kneel before Zod. Now, while Zod is not a bad character, the way they portrayed him in here was pretty ridiculous. Really pretty ridiculous. I think having the Legion of Superheroes and wasting that opportunity was a piss poor move. Overall, in this season, there have only been a few things that I have actually liked here and there. I've pointed them out. I think the thing with Lady Shiva and Orphan wasn't bad at all. I got to see a little fight between them, and that should have been expanded on a little more, honestly. Getting to see Razor come back and realize that, this ties into the whole Green Lantern TV series was actually really interesting. I must say I liked Green Lantern there, that was it. Touching on what happened with what happened in Sokovia with all of this thing with Brion, that should have been explored more. It should really have gotten some more traction, but it wasn't, and that is just crappy. They have done so many things. The problem with this season is there's too much nonsense mixed in, too many cooks in the kitchen. Simple as that. Too many cooks in the kitchen. It's no longer a story about Young Justice and about these heroes and this team and one or the other. It has evolved into a jumbled mess with a whole bunch of people in need of countless hours of therapy, emotional support animals, non-binary nonsense that have no basis here. A lot of people doing stupid that doesn't even fit what's going on. Because if you look at this, the arc with Aquaman, he came out looking really damn good and showing that he has not only not only the common sense to do it, he also has the wherewithal to know how to be suspicious, how to work towards being a king and helping his people. All these things he had, only to just be over, only for him to turn around and say, okay, you know what? I would rather just stay at home, raise my son, go back to the Justice League, and pretend that I'm still Aquaman, while my wife goes out there and does everything. So you just pretty much cuckold him and just leave it on the back. It was stupid. Really, really stupidly done. This season had so much nonsense packed into it. You couldn't even breathe most of the time. We get out, like I say, they touched on Zatanna, never built up this character, gave her a little magical Power Rangers group, some kind of thing. I mean, most people may get more information about Zatanna from Superhero Girls than ever from this. You threw Rocket in there, a character that you have never expanded upon. Never expanded upon. You just made reference to the fact that, Dick Grayson apparently dated both Rocket and Zatanna. Well, Grayson always been a kind of ladies' man, but, I mean, it would have been nice to see some of this, at least experience some of it, grow something. But no, you didn't do any of this. You didn't give any kind of basis to anything. Then you threw in this whole sort of thing with them, which, I mean, honestly, I'm getting sick and tired of the light by now. They have run their course and it become a bloody nuisance on everything. And now we have them gathering up a whole army of Kryptonians, and finding out that the Kaiser Thrall is a boy named Danny Chase who got his brain cut out by the sun. I mean, bloody hell! Why are you all not stopping somebody? It's just getting out of hand now. Now, while the wedding between Superboy and Miss Martian was good to see finally, because they've been building up to that for quite a while. So we see them get married, okay, good with that. It does not take away from how badly this season has just failed miserably at pretty much every turn. Every turn. Every time you put in a story that was mildly interesting, like what happens with getting to see Razor, which again I say was really the only thing I really enjoyed thoroughly all this season, getting to see Razor. You never go anywhere with it. You just keep throwing stuff in there, hoping that everybody's gonna be okay. Wow, we good with that, and let's go with it. The Legion of Superheroes was bringing them in was a wasted opportunity here, because the Legion of Superheroes could have brought in some kind of threat from the future, or they could have touched on what everybody's been wondering about: what happened to Wally West. I mean, if I was Wally and I come back by this time, I'd be really pissed, because never even bothered to look to see if he was alive. I mean, come on. Because when Zatanna couldn't find Connor's soul in the afterlife, she deduced that, Connor was most likely alive, and that's what she saw. You couldn't find Wally's soul in the afterlife either. But somehow you just never thought to say, maybe maybe he's alive. No, that's too much. That's too hard to think about. Best to just leave it. I mean, you just keep wasting good opportunities. But overall, this season of this fourth season of Young Justice was a complete and utter letdown in my eyes. A total letdown. Total letdown. So many good stories they could have built on, so many things they could have done. They could have built up these characters, but they didn't. They threw in a bunch of people and nobody had any interest in seeing. You destroyed most of them. I don't know. I mean, after season one, I thought of Young Justice was really good. Season 2 could have been better, but then they decided to go downhill from there. And this is the result of too much woke meddling nonsense in literally anything. And why I'm so terrified of them making anything new or bringing back anything that would have been classic. Bringing it back now is just, well, let's turn it into total garbage. Final rating for this fourth season of Young Justice Phantoms, I would have to give this a 1.5 out of 5. I cannot recommend this to anybody. While I would say that some of the visuals and the animation is not bad, it's still good, and one or two of the little things in it was interesting. Again, like I said, what happened with Lady Shiva and Orphan could have been expanded on a bit more. Getting to see Razor and all that was good, but overall everything else just fell flat. They tried to push in characters that nobody cared about, and it just wasn't working. This season of Young Justice was just a total letdown, and then bringing in Supergirl at the end to try to act like now they're gonna set up this big thing with Supergirl being a part of the Furies and all of this. I mean, why was she in the Phantom Zone to begin with? If you give some crappy reason, like the same thing like how you give with how Superboy and Phantom Girl ended up in the Phantom Zone, it made no sense. Why was Kara in the Phantom Zone to begin with? I mean, wouldn't her parents, if they had no choice but to go in, they're going along with her? Or wouldn't they just send her to put her in a rocket and send her off to follow Kal-El or something like that? But no, it just a total letdown. This season was not good at all, and I cannot recommend it to anybody. I think Young Justice has just lost its steam entirely after this fourth season. I'm not looking forward to a fifth at all. Not at all. Anyway, that's it for me, people. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you have a different opinion, I'd love to hear it. If you like the video, be sure to hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell. Be notified every time I put out a new video. And I shall see you all next time. Take care.